It's me again. How are you doing? So, picture this. You tell yourself you've done something you're ashamed of, something you're not proud of, some sort of vice that you might have, whether it's food, whether it's drugs, whether it's anything of that sort. And you tell yourself, you feel ashamed after it. You keep doing it, you keep coming back to it. So you tell yourself, you know what, I will never do it again. And in that moment, you 100% mean it, and you feel it, and you 100% intend to break that bad habit that you might have. That bad habit that has been a part of you for a long, long time, yet you still can't seem to shake it, even though you really intend to, you really want it, it's really at the core, you know it's something that's affecting your life. It's something that's affecting your mood, it could even be affecting the people around you, And you say you'll never do it, and lo and behold, 1 day passes, 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, it doesn't matter. You end up doing it again. And the shame gets bigger, the guilt gets bigger, you start to doubt yourself more and more and more and more. And we've all been there. I've been there. This is something that's really deep to me, I tell myself on certain vices I have, I don't want to go into details, but I am fully adamant on days like today and tomorrow, yesterday, for the last week, that I'll never do it again. But the sad thing is, you do end up doing it again. And I'm not making this video saying that it's an inevitable loop that's never going to stop and you're stuck doing it forever. I have a cup of black coffee, I'm going to have a sip of it actually. That was delicious. Now, so I guess why I make this video is to kind of zone down to that point of promising yourself you're never going to do that bad habit, whatever it might be, but you coming back and doing it again. And I think with time I've come to realize that what it really is, is at the end of the day, we're animals. We're humans, we're smart, we're intelligent, we've achieved great things. That's undeniable, but of course we've done a lot of bad things as well, but here we won't discuss that in this video. But at the end of the day, we need to recognize that, we are still animals. We do have the intelligence a lot higher than every single animal on this planet, every species, but we still run on instinct, that's still a big part of human nature. And I think in today's society, and just with the intellect we really think that, it's like our intelligence, our consciousness is really driving the show. But I'm kind of a big believer now, with time, I've come to realize that, you have your primal instincts, your desires, that you end up just executing and doing. So this is coming back to what I was saying earlier. If you have a vice, you tell yourself you're really not going to do it, but one day you just break down and you end up doing it, And then after you're like, how? I told myself I won't do it, I don't want to do it, And it's really unsettling and upsetting, But I think, the first step in this predicament that we have is kind of becoming aware of it, and that, we have our primal instincts. And at the end of the day, if you really think about it, they kind of drive you more than your own consciousness, your own discipline and all that. All the primal instincts will always be there. You'll just end up doing them automatically, nearly like on autopilot. So when you have a bad habit you want to break, what you really need to do is kind of become aware of this situation, become aware that this is how things run, and then work on your mind and practice not breaking into the habit, kind of like coming to the realization that it will always be there. It will never just go away, it's not going to be like, oh yeah, that's it, I've done it, I said I won't do it, and it's gone, and I'm a changed person, I'm a changed man, I'm a changed woman, whatever, these things will never happen. I think it's the real game is coming to the realization that they are always going to be there, always. They'll always be the primary things. And what it is, it's then your discipline, your will, your consciousness, trying to overpower it. And not by overpowering it like it's been on this mission, I'll never do this again, blah, blah, blah. But it's more like being aware, kind of starting to pay attention to the clues. Is it an environment? Is it a certain amount of people, a certain people, Is it a day of the week? Is it after a long 5-6 days of work, hard days of work, you feel like you need to relax, this instinct comes in, you know what I mean? It's like a part of you. It's bathed into your head and it's nearly like automatic. So yeah, and in order to kind of, so it's important to start paying attention to these things and listening to these clues to know, what environment maybe you might be able to get out of to avoid that thing happening. If it's overeating food, just don't go to the shop at 6 o'clock. Just have an automatic list of shop that gets delivered to your food, to your house, or someone else does it for you, so you don't see all the bad stuff and end up buying it because you just give in that, you know what I mean? You have all the, you don't want to do it, but you go to the shop, you see all the shiny things, all the delicious food, and you just like, you break down, because it's all shoved in your face, and then the impulsivity kicks in, and at the end of the day, that's the autopilot, and that's how shops and all these things, consumerism is basically what it works on is the human psychology, because they know that, So yeah, I'm saying this, I'm coming from my own experience. It's something I've been struggling with a lot. I'm sure everyone else is, their own version of a demon that they're trying to conquer, But this is just an insight I wanted to kind of go into, just to realize that it's always going to be there. It's a big part of you. It's autopilot, and discipline comes in kind of recognizing these patterns that cause it. Trying to put yourself out of these situations as much as possible in order to have the best results, in order not to relapse on doing that bad thing, whatever it might be. And and another thing I think is important is to acknowledge that it's a process, it's this discipline, this thing where you try not to do this thing or bad habit again and again. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be like, once one and done, I've decided not to do it and there you go, I'm an angel for the rest of my life. I think it's important to realize that, we will still end up giving into these temptations, it will happen, and that's okay. And especially like if you've been doing it for a while and you've made some good progress, you haven't done it and you give in, sometimes people end up self-destructing, just go fully hard into it, just like, oh well, I failed, I can't do it, blah blah blah, and you go all the way down back to square one, and you might have done 4 months of great progress and you ruined it all in a week, I'm just saying from experience, self-sabotage, you're great at it, just something within. Delicious coffee. But I guess, this video is just me speaking out loud, so this stuff resonates in my own brain as well, and it sticks, because I'm becoming aware of it. But it's, the human nature, the impulse, the autopilot, it's not easy to win over, But yeah, I guess just me ranting away once again. But yeah, if you're in that place and you have that, you just I hope things will get better. They do get better, that's 100%, and it's a step at a time. It's not 100% one and done. You need to remember that, if you make progress, you have a little bit of recession, it doesn't matter, because you're still progress. If you made this much progress and you received this much, you're still this much of progress, you know what I mean? So you're still ahead of when you started. The problem is now not to self-sabotage and self-destruct and go back straight to zero, because then you're starting from zero. And then if you do that 5, 6, 7, 8 times, it gets worse and worse and harder and more demoralizing, So if you made this much success, you've come back to here, you acknowledge that we're animals, autopilot, that happens, we break in, well, try to keep the discipline going again, So overall, your overall result is in a positive. So you're winning. And yeah, just a video expressing some of my thoughts on that. Something I've been struggling with, working on, I'm sure like I said, like everyone else is. But if you're in that situation, just stay aware that if you made progress and you receded back a little bit, it's not the end of the world, and you're still ahead. So just becoming aware of the human animal, the human instinct that really drives and motivates a lot of the things that are going on in this world between human cultures. And yeah, I hope me sharing this, it's good for me anyway. I enjoyed it, I'm happy to have done it. I like sharing these, I like thinking about these topics. I find them very interesting, how all of this shapes, you know, our perception, consciousness, reality, how all these hard questions with no real answers, just different things. And I'm not sitting here saying I have answers. I don't. I haven't a clue. I'm really doing this to maybe try find out the answers as I talk through these, as I talk out loud, as I express myself. You know, maybe the things will stick to me that I'm trying to. Hope I'm coming up with something in my own brain that will work for me, you know. And it's important to remember that different methods will work for different people. There's no one solution that fits all. So, you know, one person might say do this, one person might say do this. What you need to do is you think, just observe, even, you know, journal or observe after a while, see like, all right, this is, you know, because one solution might work for one person, that's 100%, and another one will work for another person, that's also 100%. But it's not like this one will work for you, this one will work for you. You kind of have to explore, look around, delve into it, you know what I mean? Make it part of your consciousness, the looking around, thinking about these things, you know, trying to pay attention to the body and the mind, how it works, the animal underneath, you know, and this is where the discipline and all of that stuff comes in. But yeah, another day, another rant by myself. I hope you enjoyed some of it, or even a little bit of it. If not, it's okay. And other than that, I hope you have a nice day. Beautiful week. I hope you have everything great. I'll probably post another video tomorrow, the day after. I'm just gonna express my mind because I love it and it's good. All right, guys, stay safe, be good.